I just wanted to jump over to a different kind of question for you. You know, you're so well versed in so many different areas and you've been so successful. I like to ask people, you know, what sort of life advice they would give to their younger selves typically. But it seems like you, since you were really young, you already knew what you wanted to do. And to the point where you went against your parents, you know, in the family business, you had that conviction to go on your own. What sort of advice would you maybe not give to yourself because you already knew what you wanted? Maybe someone that's watching it and they're a little lost, or what kind of advice would you give to them as a young person growing up?
Yeah. By the way, you know, I didn't know what I want to do. Like, you know, chemical engineer is one thing, right? But you don't know what you want to do. And, you know, people always, you know, hard work matters so much, right? But, you know, luck also matters, you know, and I've been very lucky. I've been really lucky. And one of the advice I'll give is in the same lines, kind of like be humble. Like humility is a virtue. But humility, you know, sometimes people think of like you're being weak, but humility, there's a quote, you know, humility is not that you think of yourself, think of less of yourself, but you think of yourself less. So, you know, you think about others, you think about making the world a better place, but you can still be very strong and strong-willed, and you can be very confident. So one, be humble. You know, humility takes you a long way because, you know, you don't have to really worry about yourself so much as what you want to do. That's one. The other one is like, you know, like what I was saying earlier about being permissionless, like don't take permissions for everything that you want to do. You know, heck, you know,
ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah, and pop into an investor room.
Yeah, and you don't even have to like ask for forgiveness eventually, because, you know, eventually things will work out for you. You know, because look at the Wright brothers, right?
Just do it.
Yeah, they weren't engineers.
Yeah,
they didn't even go to college. They didn't have a license to fly a plane. Okay, nobody was just be like them. Like, don't, you know, in fact, I don't know if you know the story, but I heard this in one other podcast, which was referring to a book. I'll have to sort of remind myself. It's in my notes. 100-year anniversary of the Kitty Hawk. Wright brothers flew the plane, right? Very knowledgeable people in the aviation industry try to rebuild that flight. It failed. Right? What does that teach you? It's like, don't underestimate doing things. Like, knowledge does not just come from knowing things. You actually have to go and do them. And that is another great advice I wish somebody would have given me, which is, you know, I think follow your passion can work for some people as an advice, but really for most people, what would work is go and do things. And if you do anything 100 times over, you want to paint. You may think your hands shake holding a paintbrush. You paint 100 paintings, you're gonna be pretty good at painting.
You want to hear another really funny story on the Wright brothers? So the first time that they tried to fly, they brought a bunch of media out and they failed. It crashed immediately. The New York Times wrote an article. This is in the biggest newspaper in the world, essentially, wrote an article that said, man will not be able to fly for 1 to 10 million years.
Hilarious.
And look what happened in a decade after that.
7 days later. 7 days later.
I wonder if they recanted the story. They're like, listen, I'm sorry.
No, go look that article up.